Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I am going to do this little mini album. I got this, it's a basic gray mini album a long time ago, and it's been sitting there looking cute, never used. And then later I stuck some ephemera from a trip because I thought, okay, I'm going to use this to do this trip. And I stuck the ephemera in there, and then it continued to just sit there. So I thought, you know what, I've got to do something with this. So I pulled out some stamps from Cocoa Daisy that I haven't used yet. These are newer ones. And then I also have some Skipping 5 geotags. That's a leftover piece of the stitched, I think. Some Scraptastic cards from 2014 that were travel themed that I'm going to try to work in there. I found some Smashbook flagged paper clips, some 7 Gypsies that I had never used, some Wordfetti from like 2004 that had a few used. These Travel Girl have a few used already, as well as these Studio Calicos that I'm going to try to use some more of, and those are travel themed. I have this cut apart sheet that I want to try to use in here. It's got travel stuff on there. I have some more of those little envelopes. These stickers that I don't know where they came from, basic gray, probably off the bottom of an alphabet sheet. These metal K & Company things, these old clear stickers from I think a 6x6 paper pad, probably again around 2004, 2006 time there. These transparencies from Mambi. I don't know how old those are. This Hey Boy, there's 1 or 2 on here that I might be able to use that are somewhat travel themed. This little Patchum, it's a little patch, and it's kind of travel themed. These paper clips I think I got in the Target dollar bin. These Joann's Craft, again, those are like 2004 or 2006. I think they're 2004. Those little Post-it note tabs. And then I printed out some photos at different sizes and some little thumbnails. I accidentally printed the thumbnails, so I'm going to try to work some of them in. That was kind of an accident on my part. But these other ones are the ones I was planning on using. And so that's what I got together. So now let's make this mini album. So there's some of my ephemera. It's a postcard that I purchased at a gas station on our drive. And I'm just going to tape it on here as a little flap. And I also found this journaler's notebook, another really old thing from my stash. And I'm just going to stick it there to do my journaling on instead of journaling on that patterned paper there. So it'll be a little easier to read. So I'm just going to stick that on there. And that's all I'm going to do with that, I think, at the moment. And then I'm going to put some pictures on the back. And I've kind of separated some of my photos out kind of chronologically through the book just to see, what kind of space I had to work with. So that's why some of them are tucked toward the back. So I pulled some of the basic gray, I think it's the Hey You paper pad. I'm going to use some of that, and then just to pull in more of that basic gray paper, and then a bunch of paper from my scraps I'm going to pull in later too. So this road trip was just like over a weekend essentially. And we were going to La Grande, which is in northeastern Oregon, and I live in the Portland area, which is in the northwest of Oregon. And we were going to Eastern Oregon to pick up a combine header for our combine that we purchased used. Also, we had another piece of equipment we were picking up on the way. So it was just a little road trip. And since we haven't had a vacation since we went to Crater Lake in like 2011, this was about as close to a vacation as I was going to get for a while. So I decided to, make it into a little travel album and scrapbook it. So there's Multnomah Falls, which is a beautiful waterfall near the Gorge area. And the Gorge is along the Columbia River between Washington and Oregon. So I put that first. And then I'm also going to put this Scraptastic card because our trip was last July 2014. So I'm going to circle the dates that this trip spans. I just used my tiny attacher on there. And then I'm putting pictures from the gorge, which is a beautiful area. It's really steep and it follows, like I said, the Columbia River. So it's pretty windy, and it's just beautiful. Those big cliffs and all the waterfalls and the river running through. And there at the top of one of the cliffs is Crown Point, which is just like an observation thing. And here it is. I think it was done like a long time ago, like back in the public works time frame, because it's always been around. And I've been there, several times since I was a kid. We didn't stop this time, but I saw it from the freeway way up there on the cliff and got a few pictures of it. The last time my hubby and I went there, we went on a motorcycle ride and wound up there. So I put the pictures on the back of this postcard. And at first I was going to hinge it like I did that first postcard. So I put some tape and stuff on there. But I just didn't like the way it flipped over that metal ring. I didn't like it. And I kind of fiddle with it and I'm like, no, don't like it. So then I kind of tore it just a little bit there, but I'm able to hide that later. But I take it off and I'm trying to figure out a way. If they flip better if they're on the left-hand side. And then I think, well, I'll tape it on the other, but the way I had already placed my pictures, it would be wrong. So I decided to just flip it at the top, and that way it flips up and my pictures that I've already stuck down are oriented in the right direction. So I take another one of those things from that journal pad and I cut it down to fit. So I'm going to just place that there to do my journaling. And I also put one more photo at the bottom, and that shows Crown Point really small. So I'm going to put a little geotag kind of pointing to it, the building up there. And then the ones up top are the building where I've zoomed in so you can see it up close. So that's going to be that. And then I'm also going to put this picture of some cliffs and stuff of the gorge that's just so beautiful, all the rock formations. And I'm going to put that on the other side. And then I'll probably leave room to journal below it, I think. And I just take another globe and kind of offset it from the globe that was pre-printed on there. Along the gorge, there's also the Columbia River Dam, and then there's also a whole bunch of windmills. There's a lot of windmill farms and wind power because, like I said, the gorge is a narrow cliff area and the wind really just shoots through that. So it's a great place to put wind power. So I'm just kind of seeing, my real estate and how I'm going to, because I'm kind of putting these roughly in chronological order. So I go ahead, I'm going to put a few more of these pictures from the gorge since we're driving through. Just matting it some more on that basic gray paper. More of the cliffs, and it's pretty barren out there, and the cliffs and the rock formations, and like I said, the wind just goes through. In the winter it's really icy and it gets closed down a lot and stuff because the weather can be really tricky through there. But this was July during the summer, so it was just gorgeous. And here I'm cutting apart some of that cut apart sheet. And who is that? It's Open Road from Crepe Paper. I really like the colors on that. So I'm going to try to use some of that in here and some of these little word fragments. And I do pretty good. At the end, I'll show you kind of what I had left because, like normal, my battery died part the way through. So actually I was almost done, but still I need to go get another battery. So we had to make a little detour and stop in the Dalles because my husband had to do some work for a customer there. So while he was working, I kind of wandered around in the Dalles a little bit, took some photos of buildings and stuff. But I'm going to put this little insert here that I'm matting right now. It's the bank sign in the Dalles that says it was actually 101 degrees outside. So it was really hot. So I didn't wander around too much just because it was so hot. But I did take some pictures of this beautiful clock building here. And I was trying to use that transparency as like a tab or something in there to pull out, but it didn't quite work. So I'm back to this journal pad, and I'm just going to cut one of these journaling cards down to fit, because that page is actually a pocket page. And then I'm going to mat my kind of architecture photos that I took in the Dalles on it. And then I have one more I'm going to put on the back. And then since the back of the journaling card was just white, I decided this is a great opportunity to pull out some of those stamps to decorate it. So I pull out, I think, the street sign stamp, and I'm just going to do that here in the blue, and then I'm going to overlay another stamp on top of it. And sorry, I'm off screen there a little bit. And my next stamp I'm going to overlay over the street sign. I'm just going to do it in black, and it says, I think, whose idea was this anyway? You know, to be wandering around in the 100 and some degree heat. So I'm liking that, and then I put a little pull tab at the top off that 7 Gypsies sheet. So there's where I am so far. And again, I'm kind of seeing how my photos are laying and where I'm going to stick stuff down so that it's properly spaced throughout the whole journal. I don't want to run out beforehand or not have enough space. So here's another postcard that I picked up at a gas station on our way. And I'm just cutting it down because I'm not going to make it into a flap. I'm just going to mount it directly onto one of the pages. So I go ahead and adhere that. And that one is of Celilo Falls, where the Indians would fish from. And I'm going to put it here next to those pictures of the Columbia River Dam and the some of the windmill, from the windmill farms. And so I'm just matting that on more of that basic gray Hey You paper. So this is going pretty fast, and I'm not doing anything super special or anything, but the mini winds up, you know, coming out pretty cute. So I'm just taking this tag from the cut apart sheet, and I'm going to stick that on there. Kind of ink the edges a little bit. And then I'm going to let it hang off over the side, and that'll give me a place to put some fiber. Adding a few more stickers on there. And then I'm off to get some baker's twine. And I just put a little bit of that because I like to have some fibers kind of hanging off on the edges and stuff. It just kind of softens it up a little bit. And then farther up the river, we saw a lot of barge traffic. At this point, we're pretty much out of the Gorge area. We're just continuing farther upriver. And then I'm going to put those over there on that side and add a little sticker here at the top. Just kind of overlap some. And then I'm going to use this clear compass and just use my tiny attacher to put that on there and let it hang off over the edge. And mount this other picture. The barges going up the river, up and down the river, some of them had grain on them, and then there's these the loading docks and stuff here at Arlington that I have a photo of, that load all the barges and stuff. So it's cool to see the barge traffic still on the river and lots of industry still going on. So here you can see I'm pulling from my scrap bin some colors that I like, little bits and pieces that are great for matting these small photos on. I'm just kind of tossing them on there. And then I pull out this orange piece to mount this picture from Arlington. And I'm going to just place that down below that compass. And then that orange kind of picks up on those orange stickers that I have on the other side, the other page there. And I didn't need that staple on the bottom that I had put on there since I was gluing this photo over. So I just took it out so it wouldn't make a lump there. So now I'm moving on with more photos. So as we get closer towards Pendleton, where we're going to spend the night, there were it gets flatter and more open, and there's a lot more farming and stuff that goes on through there. So I'm kind of deciding what order to put my photos in. And we saw a lot of like tree farms. They do fast growing alder type trees for the paper and pulp industry. So there's a lot of those kind of tree farms. And then lots of hay growing going on, and also this mustard field and other crops. So I'm putting a few stickers and I'm trying to decide what order to put these two photos. And I decide to put one, at first I was going to double them up on a page, but then I decided to put one on each page. So I put the trees, that one on the left there is the trees, and they grow them real close together because they're not going to let them get, very huge. They're just fast growing, kind of spindly little trees. And then they get cut down and made into pulp for paper making. And then they, grow up some more. So it's nice because they're not cutting down the forests. They're, just farming the trees. And then here's the one with the mustard fields. And at first I didn't know if it was mustard, and I rolled down the window and it's like, whoa, yeah, that's mustard. And then I found that little car shooting past there that's off the cut apart sheet that I really like. And that'll go on there. So here I'm breaking out these word fetties from 2004, you got it. Some more old stash. But a lot of people have said how they're enjoying seeing me use some of this older stuff because other people have got it in their stash too. I can't be the only one. Oh, I hope I'm not the only one that's got this old stuff in their stash. So anyhow, like I said, I think on my last video, I've kind of separated out my travel stuff into an iris case. And then I have an iris case of baby stuff and then one of cooking. So anything I don't use on this, any travel stuff will go back in that iris case so I can keep pulling from that and I won't forget that I have this themed stuff. And that's helping me a lot to be able to pull it out. It's kind of like having a kit, and so when you do a travel layout, you've already kind of got a kit ready, at least for the themey stuff. And then you can pull other things in from your normal, more generic stash, like fibers or flowers or whatever. So I pull this little thing here, which is a bunch of tags, and two of them are like the same shape, but I pull out all the colors that I think might work. And since these two were the same shape, I went ahead and I glued one down sticking out, and then I turned the page over and I glued the other one right over the top. And then I can put some more fiber in there. And I went to put this yellow fiber, but it was baker's twine, but it had untwisted. So it didn't really look like baker's twine anymore. It was kind of a cheap twine. So I have this nicer green twine that I put on there. And then I do the same with this one, with the orange ones later, but I don't think they wind up staying. But first of all, I go and I put this street sign picture down and everything, and I'm trying to figure out what stickers I'm going to include. And then I see the patch and I'm like, this patch would be perfect because it has the this way on there. So I go to pull this up and I rip the thing pretty good, but I'm able to hide it all, so it turns out okay. So I just clean the back of this off because that adhesive is permanent, so it's pretty strong. It's a solid adhesive and not a dot. So I move it up so I can fit this little patch on there. And I cover up where I ripped it with that little label, so you can't even tell. And then I'm looking to see what adhesive I'm going to use to stick this patch on. First I think I'm going to use my tiny attacher. And then I'm like, no. And then I think my dry adhesive, and then I think, no, I better use my Fabri-Tac. And so I have a new bottle of it because I used up my last one. And I've got to get it flowing. And then I just put a little bit of that on there and stick it on. It looks really cute, so I'm glad I was able to use it, and it really fits in right there, and the colors are good too. So that's really cute. Glad to get that used. I have another postcard there. I'm kind of trying to stagger those throughout. So now we're getting close to our destination city, and we meet this guy in the casino parking lot that we're purchasing a quick disconnect for our John Deere tractor. I know that's like totally exciting. And so we stopped and looked it over. Everything looked good, so we went ahead and purchased it and put it in the back of our truck. And since we were in the casino parking lot already, we of course went to go check out this casino, and it was super exciting, at least for me, because I've only been, I think this was the third casino I've been in, and only the second time I've ever gotten to play a slot machine. So that was really fun. I was glad we were able to go in there. And I ripped that paper. I don't know if you saw me rip that. So I just put some washi tape over the edge to hold it back together, so you can't even tell. And that's the thing. Whenever you rip it or mess it up, there's always a way to hide it, and it looks just fine, and no one else is going to know. So now I'm mounting this picture I took of the casino when we were out in the parking lot. There's a sign there. I'm going to stick that on there. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the casino business card. Then I have a couple pictures. I have one of just the inside of the casino, and then my hubby snapped one of me playing the slot machine. So I put the business card on the back, and then I put on one side, and then I put a little sticker on the back where it sticks out. And then I'm using one of my Smashbook paper clips with the little flag on it. So that looks really cute. And then I had a brochure from the casino, and I'm just going to glue it right down to that page, so it still opens. And then where it sticks up over the page there, I'm just going to put this little cut apart. So that looks good. And then this interior shot from the casino, I'm going to put here underneath this exterior shot that I had taken. And that gives me a little space in the middle between the two to journal. And I'm using a few more of these word fetties just along the edge there. And then I'm going to put the picture of me playing the slot machine over here on this side with the business card and the brochure. So that was a lot of fun. It's not every day, obviously, that I get to stop at a casino, and we weren't there for very long, but it was, long enough and we had a good time. And I'm just putting more of the little stickers, sprinkling them around. They're small touches, but they really make the whole album just that little bit more fun. So again, I'm checking how things are flowing and if I'm spacing everything out properly. And here's where I put these tags down. But I just really, I don't know, I didn't like the way, even though I lined the two holes up and everything, that those wonky squares and stuff just made it look off. And so I wind up just taking that page out, because I actually wound up taking 2 pages out because there was just a few more pages than what I actually needed. And so some of the pages were just like paper, and those are the ones that I took out, and I left the more sturdy cardstock ones in there. Okay, so my camera battery is going to die here in just a minute. So I'll soon just switch you over and show you what products I have left, you know, and how much I used. And then I'll also do a flip through of the completed mini album and how it turned out. So here I am just doing a little bit about our meal that we had that night. And then my camera battery will die here in just a second. So hold on a second and I'll join you here in just a minute. So hey everybody, here is my finished journal, and I'm going to go through it here in a second. Let me show you what I used out of this, out of my original supplies. Out of these old Joann's embellishments, I took, these are from like 2006, and they had pop dots on the back, and I took 2 of them and I took the pop dots off and glued them back to back. So I made a tag that says journey on one side and travel on the other, and it makes a nice sturdy tag. I just used some of this score tape to tape them together, and I tied some ribbons on there. I used some of my old Dear Lizzie ribbons that I don't use enough. I need to remember that I have them and use them, because I really do love the patterns, and I think they're patterns that will stay in style for a long time, so I'm not too concerned. But I did use a little bit of that on here. I didn't use any of these basic gray sticky notes and everything, so I'm surprised I didn't use any of those. I did use one of my Smash paper clips in here. Of these 2004 stickers, these word fetties from Making Memories, I used quite a few of the little word fetties throughout here, so I was glad to do that. I did use one of the, where is it? Here are these little guys. One of my geotags, so I still have some of those. I'm just slowly using those. Of these sticker sheets, I used 1, 2, or maybe just 2. Because this one I cut in half. It was the road trip, and I put road trip on the front, and then I used another one of these inside the journal. So these, I have no idea how old these are. I think they were in a 6x6 paper pad bound in there or something. I don't know. And then I think I used 1 or 2 of these Travel Girl word stickers. I only used 1 of these Hey Boy Basic Gray, because really most of these aren't travel themed, but I was able to use one of those. I used quite a bit of these travel stickers from 7 Gypsies. I used a couple of these Studio Calico travel stickers. I only got 1 of these transparencies used up. I got, I think 2 of these, which I pulled in after what I showed before, and these again are also really old, and they're different colors, so I think I used one of these green ones on there, and they're actually self-adhesive little sticky notes, and I've been using on these for a while. I do like them. I had pulled these journaling spots in from Colorbach, but I didn't wind up using any, but they're super cute, so I know I will use them. I used, I think, 2 of these little metal embellishments from K & Company. They don't have a date on them, but I know they are pretty old. I also pulled in this Creative Imaginations Journaler's Notebook that I don't think I showed at the beginning of the video, and this is also super old. It doesn't have a date on it either, but it's pretty old, and so I was able to use a few of these. Of these stickers, I killed quite a few of these little tabs and things that were in my stash, so that was good. I killed all of this. I pulled in this little thing of tags, and because they were, when I got them, they were on this chain, I always thought in my mind I should make a little tiny mini with them. So I had kind of had it stuck in my mind that these are chained together, I have to make a mini album out of them. Well, no, I don't. I can just use the tags singly as tags. So that's what I did. I didn't wind up using any of my Target clips, so I was kind of bummed about that. I may go back and find a place to put one of those. Of my cut apart sheet and my Project Life cards, I went through quite a bit of that. I also used just 3 of the stamps. These 2 stamps on the back of a card, and then this little road stamp I used right here to have this little road, and then I put one of Saw Crafter's little cars in front of it, so it looks like it's coming down the road. So, and I didn't wind up using any of my little envelopes, which I'm kind of bummed about that too. But let me just take you through. Most of this you saw me do on camera before my camera battery died. And I did pretty much all of it in one sitting, in one evening. So it went actually pretty fast. So I just put this tag and the ribbon on here. Got a little flare, some extra stickers that I added, some sparkly glitter thickers, and just a few embellishments. So it says July 2014 road trip, so it kind of introduces it. You can see on here I did my journaling talking about why we were taking the trip to go get the combine header, and a quick disconnect for the John Deere tractor. And then I just I circled the date that we went there, the days that we were traveling. And I just did journaling, put an extra sticker there. I made this one a flip up, put some extra little stickers and everything on here. Use some washi tape. Here's where I used one of those metal K & Company things. I used one of those little tiny thumbnail prints to show that it was 101 degrees Fahrenheit. And then here's where I did some of the stamping on the back of this tag. Here's one of the little 7 Gypsies tabs at the top. I put these stickers and tag with the fiber on there. This is just a postcard. Some more pictures and stickers. Here's where I used one of the transparencies that I stapled on there. I used some more of my little thumbnail prints, some of that wordfetti, some of the cut apart sheet, more of the wordfetti on there, some of the 7 Gypsies. I was able to use that patch 'em this way sticker or patch, so I only have one more patch that has a bear on it, so I'm hoping to get some pictures of a bear because we do have them up in our woods, so kind of saving that patch for one of those layouts. Here's where we were picking up the quick disconnect. Just talk about how we had rented a truck because our truck's got like 300,000 miles on it and we didn't trust it to go that far. And then we borrowed a trailer from a friend to go pick all this up. another postcard, then the resort that we stopped at, and I used more of the word Fetty on here. Here's one of the little Smashbook paper clips, another one of the metal K & Company, some more little stickers, little heart sticker, and then I had adhered the casino brochure on here. More little stickers. Here's my brochure or menu from the restaurant. Another of the thumbnail photos and a sticker. Then I use this as guest check is from the cut apart sheet that I put on there. Here's where I used one of the geotags. It's another postcard. It's another thumbnail photo. I did some journaling along here. Here's another one of those metal K & Company. Part of one of my Project Life, Scraptastic Project Life cards, some word Fetty. Some more stickers. And then here's where I put my hotel stuff. And I had a smashed penny, you know, because I can never pass by a smashed penny without spending a quarter to smash my my 1 cent. And then some pictures of at the farmer's market with my cousin, and then me and my cousin's selfie. We had so much fun going to garage sales and flea markets while my husband loaded the equipment. So that was cool. And then there's the equipment that we picked up, this combine header. And then I took this picture on the way home because this was so heavy on the trailer. It was like wig-wagging, and so we couldn't go very fast. And whenever through the gorge and stuff where there's a lot of wind, it was pretty scary. So we had to take it slow. And then here's where I used another one of those clear stickers and one of my Scraptastic cards. And then I did some more journaling, some more stickers, another thumbnail kind of inset. And then, oops, that one kind of came out there. While I was, my cousin and I were at garage sales, I bought this little tin for $0.10 and I have scrapbook supplies in it and stuff. So it's a cute little souvenir from our time together. And I was so glad I got to hang out with her because it had been a long time since we got to hang out, and her husband was with us. He's standing here in the photo, and he has since passed away. So I was so glad that I got to spend that time with them. And then this is Mount Hood, which is near where I live, and it was just showing us, you know, coming home. So, and on the back I have another sticker and just talking about summer vacation and the date. And it's, you know, it's somewhat chunky, but that's kind of nice because it'll set really well on a shelf and I can set it up. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. You know, it only took me an evening after work. You know, I did dinner and came upstairs and worked on this that evening and got it done. So it had been sitting around for a while and I was starting to forget some of the details of the trip and everything. So I'm glad I got it in here and got it done instead of just having this empty journal that I had bought and never used, and my ephemera getting lost and the details getting forgotten. So I'm really glad I got this down into this little mini album. And so thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment below. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.